and not that expensive. Women's tennis. Klaxon alert, because we're going to focus in on these 4 matches, of which I saw 3.5. I had all my eyes and ears and all sorts over the first 2 matches of the day, which was Coco Gauff against Alexandrova and Andreeva Kazakina. I saw none of Keys Baptiste, and I saw bits of the Boisson Pegula match, but actually not the crescendo. I didn't see it from 3-all onwards. Shall we start with Boisson Pegula?
As you wish. I mean, it was definitely the biggest story of the day.
Yeah, let's go with that then. So Pegula wins the first set. You're thinking, okay, she's probably. I just kept thinking as Pegula looked like she was on the verge of a quarterfinal. I was thinking two things. I was thinking Jessica does seem to get nice draws. And I keep having her deep in various different brackets and thinking she's not playing well. I don't think she's played well really since New York. And yet I know she's picked up a title since then. And I know she's gone deep in tournaments. And yet I don't really think she's a decent clay court player. And yet I was looking at the French Open draw and going, do you know what? We're very close to a bold Vanch, numbers 1 to 8, all getting to the quarterfinals. Obviously, Paolini went out by this margin, pretty much in terms of match point. And Pegula was up a set, and I thought she was going to go on and take the match today. And so we would have had 7, 8 of the 8 seeds in the quarterfinals. And yet, Mademoiselle Boisson had different ideas.
I mean, that's just Paolini and Pegula, right?
Yeah, just Paolini didn't make it out.
So both of them major chances, obviously. Yeah, I mean, Pegula, I made this comparison the other day, but it's basically like Fritz. They both were like in no great form coming into Roland Garros, but you look at their draw and you're like, okay, yeah, they can actually make the quarters here. But also, if they do make the quarters, they're probably done. And there's also a number of players who will be looking at that section and just thinking, oh, yeah, this is my chance. With Fritz, that ended up very differently, of course, to Pegula eventually. Pegula definitely seemed like a big favorite to make the quarters today. Boisson was struggling physically in that Jacquemot third round encounter. So, yeah, I also didn't really have high hopes for her here. But the story continues. The match was like a camp classic, a bit of a B-movie type of thing where the quality is not great, but the drama, the excitement because of the stakes, it definitely keeps you watching. And yeah, just overall, I mean, I think the narrative for Boisson has been kind of like the main asset of the French Open this year. You know, the fact that last year, of course, she had that first Roland Garros main draw wildcard promised. She was winning so many ITFs in a row. Then I think a WTA 1-5 as well. Unfortunately, season-ending injury just before the tournament. And now she comes back and does this. I mean, it's beautiful. She's ending her tournament in the quarters, I'm pretty sure. But the story is fantastic, and the win today is going to be one of the most memorable matches of the tournament. I don't think we will include it in the matches of the year conversation. I think that's probably where, at least in terms of talking about the best 5, yeah, I doubt it makes it. But certainly it's going to be something we remember for a while.
Yeah, I mean, the story, I think, is huge, as you say. The injury she picked up, obviously, ACL, I think it was ACL?
I don't remember, to be honest. I see that photo of her lying in bed, but I don't.
Yeah, cruciate ligament. I'm not even sure how she picked up the injury because cruciate ligament is not a super common injury to have, and I think it was in the knee that she had it rather than where Zverev had it in the ankle. But yeah, she's going to be coming out against Mirra and Andreeva in the next round. Mirra coming through in straight sets against Kasatkina. This was a really interesting affair. It was straight sets, and yet it had quite a few twists and turns. I mean, to be honest with you, all those twists and turns occurred in the second set, but Kasatkina had a set point. She did look vulnerable on serve through large parts of the match, as you would probably expect. And yet she also was dominating points at times in the second set. And you're thinking, how is Mirra Andreeva staying in this point? And yet every time she did, it maybe affected the nerve of her opponent because Kasatkina made some either bizarre choices or just inexplicable errors on points where she was, so far up. She was almost, 1 foot in the third set, if that makes sense. A smash into the net springs to mind, but there were some other smashes, which I know Kasatkina, not being the tallest player in the world, is going to find a little trickier than others. But I still found it unbelievable that she managed to contrive a way to lose some of those points. And yeah, it was her who, maybe not quite disconsolate, but it was her who probably needed a hug at the end rather than Mirra Andreeva, who needed it obviously after their Ningbo final last year, I think it was, when Mirra was on the end of a rough defeat to Kasatkina. Any thoughts on this match?
Ghosty, I would say half a year at least. Remember when Nishioka tore his ACL? I think it might have been like 2017. He was in really good form playing Stan in the Sunshine Double, and then then it happened. For Boisson, almost a year, I guess. It took like 9 months or thereabouts. Yeah, anyway, Andreeva Kasatkina, I think obviously was pretty intriguing just because Kasatkina plays very different tennis to most players on the tour.
Yeah.
So if you throw in somebody against Mirra Andreeva right now who's just like a power player, not elite, I would say it's an easy win for her every single time. But against Kasatkina, you start wondering. And they're also good friends, so that always adds a bit of unpredictability. They know that, they know each other so well. They've practiced with one another. And then, the feeling of playing against each other in such a big match as well has to be quite unique. Daria obviously had chances to win the second set. I think some of the stuff you mentioned, like the smashes, they were mostly coming on points that were at that point, well, not inconsequential, but maybe not directly leading to her losing games.
No, but there was like sort of love 15s and love 30. They were all in those games.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Like that.
But they were all in this stretch between, because Kasatkina was serving for the second set. They were all in the stretch between her serving for the second set and ultimately waiting to. They weren't even in the final game when Mirra served it out with relative ease, I think, to 30. It was all in this sort of 3 or 4 game stretch when she was serving for it. Then at 5-all, I think 5-all, one of those points became love 15, went to love 30, and she gets broken. And it's actually a match that could well have gone 3, and who knows, just because it was fairly even through large parts as well. The first set was really nip and tuck. Both players held serve relatively comfortable until I think 4-3 when Mirra was leading, and then she gets the break, and that was that. It was a close one. It's funny because I think Kasatkina could have won that match. I think she's then going out in the next round or very soon after. And
next round she'll be playing Lois Boisson. So
so there you never know. So semi-finals, but her tournament, could have been incredible after that match, but it isn't going to be incredible enough to win the title. And yet Mirra, is she a contender? I said today that we've kind of got 3 groups, okay? And this is before the Pegula and Keys matches had got underway, I think. I said we've got the first 3, the top group that, you can make a huge case for any one of those 3 to win: Goff, Sabalenka, and Swiatek, depending on what your viewpoint is. You've gone this then next group, which is so close, they can almost touch and even jump into that same group, which is Qin Zheng and Mirra Andreeva. But maybe there's some matchups there that push them a bit lower down, and that's why they're in that next group. And then there's the rest. And
Andreeva to me is in the first group.
She's in the first group, is she?
Yeah.
But Coco Gauff matchup?
I mean, that's the one problem. But like, what else is really the issue? She has the easiest quarterfinal opponent out of everybody.
She does now, yeah. But
even if it was Pegula, there's absolutely no chance that Pegula beats Andreeva this week. So I mean, Mirra to me is definitely in the first group. I think I would probably put Kinven in like a secondary tier of her own, maybe joined by Svitolina, maybe by Keys, I don't know. But Mirra to me is just part of a 4-player conversation. With the one real issue that I have is simply how she reacts to Coco. Yeah, the fact that this is the one rivalry where you see that she is just 18 and that she still has a lot to learn. Whereas in all the other matchups, she tends to look like a very smart and intelligent player. Ghosty is just like try-harding these Boisson jokes regarding Harriet Dart. I like it.
Would you not also, Mirra Andreeva, Sabalenka, make Sabalenka a fairly warm favorite?
No, not at all. Not around Garros.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
My name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca Jorge, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans and I'm a friend of the show.
My name is Zainab Sammaz and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jaime Faria and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Yes.
Take one. Well done.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paulini and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Ready? Play.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time it is in the world, wherever you're tuning in from. Do let me know your thoughts on this particular encounter. Boisson has held serve, by the way, to get the match underway. And it's 15-love on the Andreeva serve as Boisson goes long. Andreeva serving here at 15-love down the tee. Forehand into the forehand of Boisson. Good forehand there from Mirra Andreeva. 30-love. Also, if you've got any thoughts on what we just saw between Coco Gauff and Madison Keys, Gauff winning that match in 3 sets. She awaits the winner, of course, of this particular encounter between Mirra and Lois. Backhand goes wide from Mirra Andreeva. 30-15. Oh, lovely forehand winner there for Mirra. Who are we predicting? I mean, obviously, Mirra has to be a warm or even hot favourite, right? Mirra here in the rally, defending. That ball's going to land out, so it's going to be 40-30. Okay, Mirra Andreeva serving here at 4-3, goes down the tee. And she's held serve as Boisson errs. 1 game all. Five minutes on the clock. Goff versus Mirra Andreeva is a potential semi-final. And we know how that matchup looks, very much in favor of the American. Backhand return there for Mirra goes into the net. It's 15-love. What do we think as well about what do we think about the Musetti incident yesterday? Boisson goes long, so we're at 15 all. The Musetti incident, default or not? 15 all here on the Boisson serve. She's serving at 15 all. Where are you going to go with this serve? You are going down the tee, but you're going to go wide. Second serve here for Mirra Andreeva to look at. Backhand turn from Mirra. It's a double fault from Boisson, so we're at 15-30. Of course, we've got Bublik against Sinner to come. And then the night session will be Djokovic against Alexander Zverev. Drop shot from Boisson is too good. Lovely. 30 all. That was a pressure point, even at this early stage. Forehand block return there. Chop return from Mirra Andreeva. But the forehand from Boisson goes into the net and it's 30-40. Break point. Mirra Andreeva. But she saved the break point, so we're at deuce. Is she going to get another break point here? Opportunity. Yes, she is. Second break point of the game for Mirra Andreeva here. 9 minutes on the clock. The roof remains closed on Philippe Chatrier. We'll see if that stays closed for the rest of the day. Okay, Andreeva returning on the backhand side into the forehand of Boisson. Forehand to forehand right now. And a forehand goes into the net from Boisson. And we've got the first break of serve. And it's gone the way of the Russian Mirra Andreeva. 2-1 she leads with a break at the change of ends. So, Mirra Andreeva is off and running in every way, shape and form. Do let me know your predictions for this match. Get voting in our poll as to who you think is going to win, Mirra or Lois. Also, let me know in the live chat which way you see this one going. On top of that, we have matches still to come between Bublik and Sinner and Djokovic and Zverev. Maybe you have some predictions for those particular encounters. And maybe you've got some reflections on what we just saw between Madison Keys and Coco Gauff. Gauff winning in 3 sets. Anyway, Mirra Andreeva leading 2-1 here with a break already of serve. Mirra, very hot favourite, I would suggest, to win this. But then the matchup, as I said before, with Coco is not great for Mirra. So despite Coco's sketchy form, particularly in that Madison Keys win, the matchup with Andreeva does provide some intrigue. In fact, more than intrigue. It makes Coco, I think, a warm favourite as well to make the final of the French Open for the second time in her career. She made a final in 2022 when she was beaten straight sets by Iga Swiatek. Here we go. Mirra Andreeva serving. Wonderful backhand down the line. Winner from Mirra. 2-1, 15 love. She leads. Where are you going with this serve? You are going to the backhand of Boisson, but it's a double fault for Mirra Andreeva. So 15 all. And 15 all becomes 15-30. Mirra Andreeva here serving at 15-30. $30 all now, though. Mirra wins the next point. And it's a backhand return that goes into the net. So it's a game point for Mirra Andreeva. .14 on the clock. Game point for 3-1 Mirra. Backhand slice from Boisson. Backhand cross court. Lovely angle there for Mirra. Now on the forehand of Boisson into the backhand of Mirra Andreeva. Drop shot from Mirra is not bad, but it's not going to win the point outright. And she tries to pass Boisson on the net, and it doesn't work. Deuce. We're at deuce, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we're into the rally here on the backhands now. Now into the forehand, into the backhand of Mirra Andreeva, into the forehand of Louis Boisson. Slice their forehand from Mirra Andreeva. Deuce. Moonball backhand from Mirra Andreeva. Andreeva here on the backhand once again. Another moonball that lands in. Boisson deals with it well, but it's a forehand winner from Andreeva, bringing up game point for a 3-1 lead. Conchita Martinez watches on. We saw them backstage enjoying each other's company a couple of hours ago when Keys and Goff were in action. Run around forehand here for Boisson. Into the backhand of Mirra Andreeva that goes long. Puffed out cheeks there for Lois, and it's deuce. Five minutes plus now for this game. Good serve there for Mirra Andreeva. Can she put the forehand away? No, she can't, but that doesn't matter because Boisson's going to put the backhand into the net. It was on the stretch, to be fair. Second serve here, Mirra Andreeva. Game point. Run around forehand return for Boisson. Has gone long, and Mirra Andreeva has finally held serve for 3-1. The two-match favourite. To a good start. 3-1 she leads. See Alexander Bublik arriving. Conchita Martinez looks on. Backhand return here for Mirra. Backhand, lovely backhand there from Boisson, but it's not enough to win the point. Very much in the rally now. She's being pushed actually left, right, and center. She slices there to Mirra. Mirra backhand into the forehand of Boisson. Drop shot from Mirra Andreeva. That's not going to be an outright winner. A redrop, though, is not going to work from Boisson, and it's love 15. Okay, 18 minutes on the clock. 3-1 Andreeva leads. Love 15 on the Boisson serve. Backhand return from Andreeva is going to go wide, so it's 15 all. Excuse me. Forehand here from Mirra Andreeva goes into the net, 30-15. $30-15 though becomes 30 all. Mirra Andreeva bringing up a smile. That backhand return, it was wonderful. Down the line. Serve down the tee. Run around forehand for Boisson. Backhand from Mirra Andreeva into the forehand of Boisson. Forehand now into the run around forehand for Boisson as well. Exchanging forehands, and it's a mishit forehand from Mirra Andreeva. And it's ultimately the point going the way of the French woman. 40-30. Forehand hit into the net from Boisson deuce. The forehand so well on that forehand side. More shots from her. Lovely angle. Drop shot from Boisson. It's not going to win the point outright. The volley there from Boisson. Mirra actually scrambling to get a racket on that one. She does. We've got a smash here for the Frenchwoman. That's not going to win the point outright. We're back to neutral, would you believe, ladies and gentlemen? A wonderful forehand down the line from Mirra Andreeva is going to win her the point. What a seesaw point that was. More twists and turns than a twisty-turny thing. And we have a break point for Mirra Andreeva. Of course, Lorenzo Musetti will play Carlos Alcaraz in a semi-final on Friday. After Musetti and Alcaraz won their respective quarterfinals yesterday. Here we are in the quarterfinal. Drop shot. Oh, wow. Look at that. Perfect drop shot from Boisson. Saves the break point. And we are at deuce. Very good, Ghosty. Very good. Good morning. Chop return there on the forehand from Mirra Andreeva. Boisson comes into the net. That's a tricky smash. And that's a miss-hit forehand off that smash from Mirra Andreeva. And we've got a game point for the Frenchwoman. What did you make of Madison Keys, or at least the result, even if you're not familiar with how the match panned out between Keys and Coco? Backhand slice here from Boisson's going to go into the net, and it's at deuce. She's annoyed with that one. No, not really. Ace down the tee from Boisson, game point. It was just an error-strewn encounter, Ghosty. So many breaks of serve. A real stodgy affair with both players struggling to hit through each other and then both eventually getting frustrated in those rallies. Double faults in the tiebreak was the undoing of Coco in the first set. She really had to regroup in the second and third, second in particular. Both players had 4-1 double break leads in the first two sets. Coco fought back but was unable to win the set. As I say, those double faults in the first set tiebreak, 3 of them cost her dearly. Second set, Coco goes up 4-1 with a double break, but Keys reels her into 4-all. Eventually, though, Coco wins that 6-4 and then runs away with the third set. But yeah, lots of unforced errors. Indeed, Ghosty. Indeed. Regarding the double faults. But she dug deep and won the match. She will play the winner, of course, of Mirra Andreeva against Boisson, and that head-to-head that she has over Andreeva is extremely favorable. She's on the brink. Okay, Andreeva here serving at love 15 on her serve. Mirra Andreeva on the forehand, going into the backhand of Boisson. And that's nice. Slice there from Boisson, forcing the error. Love 30. $15.30 now. Thoughts on Sinner versus Bublik? Well, the crowd are happy with that one as we get to 15.40 here on the Mirra Andreeva serve. You might well be right. We'll see. Oh, Mirra Andreeva errs on the backhand side, and it's 3-all. Yeah, I mean, the story is pretty special, right? He's a special guy. Never a dull moment. Okay, love 15. Good return of serve there from Mirra Andreeva. Yeah, maybe. That's the ploy. Don't be surprised by the element of surprise. Good serve there from Boisson. She has been serving well. She's been broken once, but she's seeking to hold here for 4-3. Okay. Yeah, they might be right. As I say, as Damien said the other day, sort of various permutations are possible. A Bublik incredible 4-set epic win. Also a 1-2-1 blowout where Yannick is just not flustered at all. Backhand from Boisson goes into the net. It's 15-30. Hi, Cedric. Okay, 15-30 here. Boisson serving. Backhand return from Mirra. Forehand from Boisson. Forehand lofted up from Mirra Andreeva. Oh, but that was a bit lucky for Boisson. She didn't hit that drive volley that cleanly, but she's got away with it. 30-all. Cedric Lopez. 30-all here. Boisson serving. She was down a break, but she's got that break back. Goes down the tee. Decent return there, though, from Mirra. Lofted ball from Boisson. Lofted ball from Boisson. Mirra just patting it back. Changing direction. Forehand to forehand right now. Now it's forehand to backhand. It's Mirra who's changing the direction, and it's Boisson who errs with a backhand into the net. 30-40. Forehand return there from Mirra Andreeva. No, second serve. Boisson. Backhand return now from Mirra Andreeva. It's unbelievable backhand return. Mirra Andreeva breaks for a second time in this first set, much to the pleasure of Conchita Martinez, her coach. She leads 4-3. Oh, Bublik winning the French Open would just be amazing. Would just be amazing. He's got to win 3 matches, and they will be against Yannick Sinner, either Zverev or Djokovic, and potentially Carlos Alcaraz. So, you know. Sorry to you know, not get too excited just yet. So early on today, Coco Gauff came through a real epic battle with Madison Keys. 6-7, 6-4, 6-1. Mirra Andreeva here serving at 4-3. Drop shot from Andreeva. Not going to win the point outright. She's now got a racket on that. Smash from Boisson. Keys now returning to base. Boisson errs on the backhand side. 15 love. Lots of cat and mouse points today. My feeling is he's lucky. My feeling is also that the rule is super, super weird. If Jim Courier is accurate on this translation or interpretation of the rule, which is, it depends on how hurt the person is, which to me is wild. That you can commit exactly the same offense, but depending on how the other person reacts will depend on whether you get punished or not. Lovely cat and mouse point there for Mirra Andreeva to win 30 love. Yeah, I know. It's wild. Yeah, exactly. Easy peasy ghosty for Bublik. It's there to be won. 30 love here, Mirra Andreeva. Double fault, though, becomes 30-15. Forehand return from Boisson. Wow, incredible depth there from the Frenchwoman. She goes to the drop shot, but that's not going to win the point outright. In fact, Andreeva runs it down, puts the backhand away, 40-15. Good serve there from Mirra, but good return from Boisson as well. Cat and mouse point once again. Lovely volley there from Boisson at the net, 40-30. MAGA church guys or mega church guys, Ghosty? Or are they kind of the same? Andreeva Urs and we're at deuce. Under the roof, of course, in Paris, due to the inclement weather that they're experiencing right now. Making these conditions pretty slow, making breaks of serve pretty common. Deuce, Andreeva to serve. Goes down the tee, but it doesn't land in, so it's going to be a second serve for Boisson to look at. 37 minutes so far this set. Run around forehand return. Run around forehand again for Boisson. Now it's on the backhand side and she slices. Mirra Andreeva slices 2. Now they're on the forehands. Still on the forehands. Mirra Andreeva changing direction as she loves to do. Backhand now to backhand. Slice from Boisson. Drop shot slice from Mirra. Boisson comes into the net and she's passed. Game point. Mirra Andreeva. The winner of this will play Coco Gauff in the French Open semi-final tomorrow. Mirra Andreeva down the tee, forehand return. Mirra Andreeva goes big on the forehand, but not big enough. Still very much in the rally here. Backhand to backhand. Good depth there from Boisson. Forehand there into Mirra Andreeva's chopped forehand. Now Boisson comes into the net. What a passing shot on the backhand side for Mirra Andreeva. She holds for 5-3. One game away from winning the first set. So over to you, Boisson, serving at 3-5. Okay. Boisson serving here 3-5. Goes down the tee. Did it land in? No. Second serve. Backhand return here from Mirra. Forehand from Boisson goes into the net. Love 15. Backhand return from Mirra into the backhand of Boisson. Backhand to backhand still. Boisson tries to change directions. Gets a bit lucky with that net call because I think it brought it back into play. I think it was going to go out. Anyway, Mirra Andreeva here on the forehand. Mirra Andreeva again on the forehand. Changing direction, going cross court. Boisson on the defense. Defends pretty well. Now it's Mirra at the net. A redrop there. And Boisson is going to win the point. A little bit fortunate, I think, that one. The crowd are happy with that, of course. Okay, 15 all. Boisson to serve. 41 minutes so far this first set. Where are you going with this? You are going into the backhand of Mirra Andreeva. Forehand Boisson. Low net clearance there from the French woman. Forehand, though, has gone too big. Has that from Boisson? It has. Gone wide. 15-30. $15-30, ladies and gentlemen. 2 points away now, Mirra is from winning this first set. Can she set up a Coco Gauff semi-final? into the rally right now. Forehand from Boisson is pretty good down the line. Mirra on the defense. She's going to have a smash here, is she? And she's going to put it away. Nice. 30 all. Okay, serve down the tee. Backhand return for Mirra Andreeva is long. 40-30. First serve is wide on the game point here. Backhand return into the backhand of Boisson. Boisson goes wide on that backhand, so it's deuce. Okay, once again, Andreeva's in a position 2 points away from winning this first set. Down the tee from Boisson. Now on the forehand of the French woman, from the forehand of Mirra Andreeva. Backhand to backhand. Mirra, can she attack that? Sort of. Backhand slice there from Boisson. Another slice. She's preferring the slice today on that backhand side. But now she goes big on the backhand. Mirra defends. She's going to go big on this forehand, is she? Yes, but wow, what about that for a passing shot for Mirra Andreeva? Set point, Andreeva. Okay, backhand return here from Mirra. Forehand from Boisson is pretty big. She's going to go big on this backhand as well, and she reaps the rewards. It's deuce. Okay, deuce. Ace, Boisson. Game point for the French woman. Mirra Andreeva defending. Good drive volley winner there for Boisson. 5-4. Did really well to get out of that service game. She was pushed. Pushed to the limit. But ultimately, she wins the game. So Coco Gauff, of course, lies in wait for the winner. But it'll be Mirra Andreeva when we return who will be serving for the first set. Is she going to do it? Let me know in the live chat what you think. Coco Gauff coming through a real battle with Madison Keys today. Anyway, here we go. Smash from Andreeva that was really difficult, and she puts it wide. Love 15. So, Mirra Andreeva serving for this first set, but it's love 15. Backhand here to the backhand of Boisson. Backhand drop shot from Mirra. Oh, wow. You cannot teach that, ladies and gentlemen. That was sublime. $15 all into the rally here. Backhand slice from Boisson. Backhand to backhand exchanges right now. A slice now from Mirra Andreeva. Boisson comes into the net. Can she be passed? No, she can't. Thou shalt not pass. 15-30. And 15-30 has become 15-40. The French crowd are happy with this as they see their favourite mounting a comeback, 15-40. Mirra Andreeva to serve here, 15-40. First serve lands in, must have been close to the line, but it did land in. Forehand Mirra into the net, and Boisson has broken back for 5-all. Very little emotion on her face, but she's got it back. Is it? Okay. I know Gandalf is a character from Harry Potter, but that's about the extent of my awareness. Okay, Boisson here serving at 5-all, and it's 15-love. Can she pull off the improbable? The French wild card. Smash here for Mirra Andreeva. Ooh, did she get a bit lucky with that smash? I think she might have done. She's going to have another one to pat at, and that one is over the net, 15-all. Some real battles out there today. Okay, 30-15 Boisson. Oh, okay. Okay. I just know Thou Shalt Not Pass from Monty Python, which goes back to the 70s, but I think it's somewhere else. Maybe it's might even be a, who knows, a Shakespeare expression. Lovely forehand winner there from Boisson. 40-15. 2 game points. First serve into the net. Second serve here for Boisson. Backhand return for Mirra. Forehand to forehand right now. And she's gone just wide there, has Mirra Andreeva. And so, from serving for the first set, she's now going to serve to stay in the first set. Well, where's your money now? Is it on Iga Swiatek to lift the title? Maybe. Or Sabalenka. Or Coco Gauff. Or Mirra Andreeva or Louis Boisson. Lois Boisson. Boisson. Let's just stick with Boisson for now. Maybe that makes it a bit easier. Okay, Mirra Andreeva here serving at 5-6. Of course, she's got to fight off the crowd. That's probably a real factor that maybe she's not super familiar with, playing French women. Lots of movement in among the crowd. Thou shalt not move. Okay, forehand Boisson. Oh, wow. That has landed in, has it? It has. Love 15. What a forehand. And she's so stoic. Okay, serve down the tee. Forehand now from Mirra Andreeva. Under a bit of pressure is now as the Russian. Run around forehand for Boisson. Putting pressure on Mirra. Putting pressure on Mirra. And it's love 30, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, what a point that was. 15-30. Down the tee, but it's going to be another first serve, is it? Yes, because it hit the net and landed in. Oh, love 30 is now 30 all, much to the disappointment of both the crowd and Boisson. And it's now 40-30 Mirra Andreeva. What a day. Good serve there from Mirra. Forehand from Mirra. Forehand from Boisson. Squash shots, defensive shot there from Mirra. And she's still doing the squash shot, defensive shot. She tries to get the next one over the net, and it doesn't work. Good serve there for Mirra Andreeva. Can she put this drive volley? No! Mirra Andreeva puts the drive volley into the net. And we've got a set point for Boisson. Yeah, maybe, Dave, but it is something that she's been pretty effective at in the past. Okay. Set point. Second serve for Boisson to look at here. Run around forehand return. Decent. Backhand now from Andreeva goes down the line. That's an excellent backhand down the line. But is she going to put this smash away? She is. What a nerve. Nerves of steel there for Mirra Andreeva. Wow. Very impressive. Deuce. Her heart would have been in her mouth there. For sure. And it's a loose backhand from Boisson. And now we've got a game point. All of a sudden, for Mirra Andreeva. Game point to force the tiebreak. Absolutely, Dave. Absolutely. Game point, Mirra Andreeva. Here we go. Down the tee. Forehand return from Boisson. Backhand into the forehand of Boisson. Defensive shot there from Mirra Andreeva. She's on the defense still even now. She's going to loft that one up. Ooh, it was close to landing in. Boisson let it go. And it did land just out. Deuce. Is it as simple as this, that the winner of this game wins the tiebreak? And maybe even goes on to win the match? First serve is into the net. Second serve. Double fault. Set point number 2. Boisson. Boy, oh boy. Thumbs up from the French women's team. First service into the net. Second serve. It's going to be another double fault. No. She goes too big on that forehand return, and it's deuce. Ladies and gentlemen, 7.5 minutes for this game. Goes down the tee on that first serve, but it's going to be wide. Double fault. Boisson gets a third set point. Opportunity. 5 double faults in this match so far. So, remember what happened on the last one. First serve lands in, but so does the return. Forehand from Andreeva goes... the forehand from Andreeva and the Boisson backhand goes long. Wants the umpire to check the mark. I think it's going to get called out. She needs the line judge to show the mark. And it is called out, deuce. Slice there from Boisson. Backhand cross court from Mirra. That shot up the line for Boisson's going to land out. Another game point for Mirra and Andreeva. To force this tiebreak. Goes down the tee but lands in the net, so actually doesn't make it in. Forehand return. Backhand from Mirra into the forehand. Backhand into the net for Mirra and Andreeva, and we're back to deuce. Wow. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Dave, about the emotion. It could go very quickly, very flat. You know, you can just imagine it going to the tiebreak and she loses that tiebreak. And then just the beginning of the second set, the whole atmosphere and even her optimism feels flat. But that's a long way away yet. It's deuce at the moment on the Andreeva serve. Exchanging backhands right now. Exchanging backhands. No real threat here from either player. No risks being taken. And Boisson goes to the drop shot and it doesn't work. Game point for Mirra and Andreeva to force the tiebreak. Mirra and Andreeva into the net on the first serve. Mirra and Andreeva errs on the forehand. We're back to deuce. Look at Conchita Martinez. First serve ace, Mirra Andreeva. That's nice for her. So, deuce becomes game point for Mirra Andreeva to force this tiebreak. Good serve again. Lofted return from Boisson. Now on the forehand of Boisson into the backhand on the defense, Mirra Andreeva. But that's good defending from Mirra. Forehand Boisson. More defense from Mirra Andreeva. But that's going to go down the line. It's going to go wide for Mirra Andreeva. And we're back to deuce yet again, ladies and gentlemen. Buckle up. Buckle up. First serve is not going to land in. So a second serve here. Backhand slice there into the forehand of Mirra Andreeva. Forehand from Boisson. Forehand slice there from Mirra Andreeva. Drop shot Mirra Andreeva is going to do the trick ultimately and bring up another game point. Okay. Mirra Andreeva here serving. Game point. That's a good forehand from her. She's going to come into the net. Can she put the volley away? She can. And we are going to a tie break, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Tie break, ladies and gentlemen. 1 hour, 9 minutes. 69 minutes, that set. Okay. Atmosphere pretty raucous. Okay. So, Boisson to serve. 6-all. Backhand return from Mirra Andreeva. Forehand from Boisson is lofted down the middle. Forehand there from Mirra Andreeva. Both players really getting good depth until now on some of these shots. Mirra, what a backhand that is down the line. Wow. Forcing Boisson to do the splits there. Covered in clay now. Wow. What an athlete. Okay, one love. Hey, Ashley. Hey, Nerlan. Any massive predictions, Nerlan? Epic, gigantic? Forehand there from Mirra Andreeva into the forehand of Boisson. Forehand Mirra Andreeva into the backhand of Boisson that goes into the net. 2 love. Yeah. Those set points that came and went. Maybe a hangover being carried into this tiebreak. Hit that like button, people. Forehand return here into the backhand of Mirra Andreeva, into the forehand of Boisson. That's a wonderful forehand winner down the line. Inside in there from Boisson. 2-1 Andreeva. Forehand return there from Andreeva. Backhand from Andreeva into the forehand of Boisson. Boisson again going big. She's on the attack. Can she put this drive volley away? She can. 2-all. Great response from going down 2-0 in this tiebreak. It's now 2-2. Okay, Boisson to serve. 72-minute set so far. Backhand return there from Mirra Andreeva. Backhand from Boisson. I think it might have clipped the net on the way down the line, but it doesn't matter in terms of her winning the point. Or it does matter. Maybe it took enough off that ball. Anyway, here's what the situation is. Boisson is leading 3-2. Over to you, Mirra Andreeva, 2-3. You're going to serve now. You had a 2-0 lead. You've seen that come and go. And now you're a point behind before the change of ends. Let's see who wins this next point. Mirra Andreeva down the tee, but goes long. Second serve for Boisson to look at here. Double fault. Double fault, Mirra Andreeva. 4-2. What's she saying to the umpire? I think she might be a bit upset about shouting up between serves. She's upset with the public, obviously backing the French woman. It's a tough environment for Andreeva. I'm wondering if she's experienced anything like this before. Yeah, indeed. So 2-4. Forehand return into the forehand of Mirra Andreeva, into the backhand on the slice for Boisson. Forehand Mirra Andreeva comes into the net. Mirra, is she going to put that away? No, she's not. She's going to have a smash here. She doesn't put that one away either, but Boisson goes long on the forehand. Four, 3. Good hands there for Mirra indeed. Okay, 4-3. Second serve here for Mirra. Now, how does Boisson, she's sort of the front runner in this match now. How does she feel with this expectation? Backhand return from Mirra is good, but we're into the rally. Good depth there from Boisson. Really good attacking play from Boisson. Can she keep it up? Yes, she can for now, but Mirra's going to defend on the slice, but she's going to keep coming. 5-3. Wow. 5-3. Backhand from Mirra Andreeva into the forehand of Boisson on the stretch. Can Mirra put this away? She can. 5-4. 5-4, ladies and gentlemen. Serving here is Andreeva at 4-5. Backhand down the line is decent, but Boisson does not well enough with it, and Boisson goes long on the forehand. So we're at 5 all. 2 points in a row coming and going the way of Mirra Andreeva. 5 all. She was 4-2 down at the change of ends after the double fault. She was 5-3 down. It's now 5 all. Good serve out wide from Mirra, but Boisson does well to get her racket on it, and we're almost at neutral. No, we're not, because Mirra's going to come into the net, and she's not going to be passed. It's now a set point for Mirra Andreeva. We've had set points for Boisson come and go. How's this set point going to pan out? Set point, Mirra Andreeva. Done really well to respond since that double fault and the 2-point deficit she had, both at 4-2 and 5-3. Boisson to serve, 5-6. First serve is into the net. A 78-minute set this so far. Second serve, backhand return for Mirra Andreeva. Forehand now. Backhand for Mirra Andreeva is really good. This is going to be a really tough smash. She's not going to go for it, and she's going to miss the forehand. 6-all. Wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen. Well. 6-all, change of ends. What an epic. Boisson to serve at 6-all. Goes into the net on the first serve. Second serve here for Boisson, 6-all. Backhand return is going to go into the net, and Boisson is going to get a set point again. Again on the Mirra Andreeva serve. Mirra Andreeva's had a set point. This is Boisson's third set point, I believe. Ay. But the set point that... So fourth one, actually. The set point that Mirra had. Oof. Should have won that one. Andreeva serves. First serve lands in. Forehand return from Boisson. Backhand down the line from Mirra. Forehand from Boisson. Is going to land on the line. And Mirra Andreeva's going to and Boisson wins the first set by 7-6. Wow. Wow, ladies and gentlemen. Vibes, ladies and gentlemen, vibes. 80 minutes that set. The roof being closed is making a difference for sure in how long some of these rallies and how long some of these games and how many breaks of serve that we're getting and how difficult it is to drive through each player. It's Boisson, though, that emerges the winner in that first set by 7-6. We'll take a quick break, and then I'll be back with set number 2. Hey, thanks for taking the time to, well, you haven't got any choice, actually. I'm just talking at you, if you like. But I'm here also to present to you why I think it's not a bad idea and not that expensive as well if you become a member. And this is how you can do it, and this is what you can gain. So if we look here at the Talking Tennis sort of homepage, if you like, on YouTube, we can see this little button here which says join. It is also pinned in the live chat as well, and you can also, I think, see it just below most of our videos, certainly the live ones and so on. Now, why is it a good idea to join and become a member? Well, in the live chat, you can add little funny things, you can add emojis and all sorts of things, but possibly more importantly, you can get to access some live videos, such as this one here, where we look back on the last sort of few moments from the Billie Jean King Cup. So there are little bonuses such as this one, but there are many, many more. And in fact, if we have a quick look at all of the members only stuff, I repeat, you will see very, very quickly some of the top stuff that we've had for members only over the last 12 months since the channel began. Remember, these videos are for members only. You can become a member from as little as about $2 a month, €2 a month, £2 a month, something like that. There are various different things. Oh, and by the way, you'll also be supporting the channel. So it's a win-win-win-win scenario. Let me just show you some of the members only stuff. For example, we've got an exclusive little clip there talking to Laura Siegmund, Laura Tsurenko, her encore interview, some doubles footage there from Monastir, the Germany press conference pre-tournament Billie Jean King Cup, Claire Burrell talking as well to the media in her press conference in Monastir, Storm Hunter and Alicia Parks interview, Rebecca Masarova, her press conference, Coco Gauff exclusive for members only, albeit it was in Madrid. But these are just some of the things, some of the interviews and etc. Like Lestien here, a chat with him, Emma Navarro, and so on and so forth. So many little bonus videos available for just €2 a month. So, what are you waiting for? Become a member. Or don't. It's okay. Hey, thanks for taking the time to, well, you haven't got any choice, actually. I'm just talking at you, if you like. But I'm here also to present to you why I think it's not a bad idea and not that expensive as well if you become a member. And this is how you can do it, and this is what you can gain. So if we look here at the Talking Tennis sort of homepage, if you like, on YouTube, we can see this little button here which says join. It is also pinned in the live chat as well, and you can also, I think, see it just below most of our videos, certainly the live ones and so on. Now, why is it a good idea to join and become a member? Well, in the live chat, you can add little funny. Well, back, ladies and gentlemen, for the second set, coffee in hand. And it's Mirra Andreeva serving at 30-40. What about that? To a double fault. Deary me. Just too many double faults of late. Great point here. Can she save it off? Forehand return from Boisson is too big, so it's deuce. Deuce becomes advantage Mirra Andreeva. What a tough moment it is for her right now. Rough ending to that first set for Mirra, indeed. Smash for Mirra there, and she holds serve. One love. There's Coco Gauff. She awaits the winner of this encounter. Love 1 on the Boisson serve. Love 15, Boisson. Hi, Richard. Please hit the like button, and if you haven't done so already, click subscribe. Richard Tadgodzinski. Second serve here for Mirra to look at. Love 15. Is the tide going to turn her way? She served. She's put the backhand into the net, returned 15 on. She served for the first set. She had set points in the tiebreak, which she was really up in that rally that she didn't take advantage of. $15 all here. Decent return there from Mirra. Backhand goes long from Boisson. 15-30. First serve goes wide. Backhand return into the backhand of drop shot Mirra, not going to work. 30 all. Yeah, maybe, but that's not really. It's not like Mirra is known for her bombs on the forehand or loopy forehands, topspin. $30 all. Backhand return into the forehand of Boisson. Backhand here from Andreeva goes down the line. That's nice. Picked up the ball there. Lovely there from Mirra. Oh my goodness me. What a point this is turning into be. And she can't get it. She nearly got very unlucky there, Mirra, with that net cord that really deceived her and deceived everyone. But it's going to be a break point for Mirra Andreeva. She dealt with it so well by going for the lob. Lowest lob ever, says Dave. Yeah, I guess so. Just didn't have to be because, of course, she was so close to the net, was Boisson, and also really diving deep and low to get to that previous ball. Backhand return from Andreeva. Forehand from Boisson into the forehand of Andreeva. Decent depth there from both players. Really good. And it's the depth, though. And as you say, maybe going for that backhand side, and Boisson can't deal with it. 2-love, Andreeva leads. Okay, Andreeva here, 15-love up on her serve. Down the tee, but into the net on the first serve. Second serve here. Run around forehand return for Boisson into the backhand of Mirra Andreeva. Over to the forehand of Boisson. It goes down the line into the backhand of Boisson and goes long. Yep, just keep going for that backhand side where possible, Andreeva. And make sure there's enough pace on the ball that she can't run around it. Forehand return. It's not going to land in. So it's a second serve, is it? Oh, first serve because it clipped the net and landed in. First serve here, Mirra Andreeva. Down the tee, backhand return, but it's going to be another first serve, I think, after hitting the net again. Now it's going to be a second serve. I still make Mirra Andreeva the favourite for the match right now. She's put that forehand into the net, though, 30-15. Forehand there into the forehand of each player. Mirra goes down the middle. She's coming into the tee. How's she going to deal with this smash? It's not going to be an outright winner. No, it's not, but it doesn't matter because it's forced the error. 40-15. First serve down the tee, clips the net and goes long. Second serve, backhand return, backhand drop shot from Mirra Andreeva. She's going to get this with the redrop. It's a good redrop. Is she going to put the smash away? She is, 40-30. (40-30) here. Andreeva serving. You might be right. You might be right there in terms of running out of gas, Dave. We'll see. Forehand down the line there from Boisson. She's going to get a smash here. She puts it away. Deuce. Deuce on the Andreeva serve. Please hit that like button, by the way, if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're new to the channel, click subscribe. Forehand return here from Boisson is really good. Run around forehand here for Boisson into the backhand of Mirra Andreeva. Down the line from Mirra. Forehand to forehand right now. If it's going to be a forehand battle, though, she's moved it over to the backhand where Boisson is... Oh, lovely Mirra. Lovely. Game point, Mirra Andreeva. Backhand into the net from Boisson. Screams of delight from Andreeva. She holds for 3-love. Three love. Okay. Where's your money now? Mirra Andreeva for me. Is she? Yeah. At times it's been the crowd. At other times it has been Conchita who's getting the verbal from Andreeva. But she's in a much better position now than she was 20 minutes ago when she lost that first set. 3-love, she leads in the second. Three-love Mirra Andreeva here. Thank you for hitting that subscribe button, whoever you were, wherever in the world you're tuning in from. 30-love here on the Boisson serve. She goes out wide. Forehand chop return by Mirra Andreeva. She loves that chop. Drop shot from Boisson's not good enough. 30-15. Okay. $40-30 here, Boisson. Serving. Yes, Dave, I get your point, but also in her favor is the injury that she had. I think didn't help her as she was really building up some steam just over a year ago with some ITF titles. Backhand cross court for Mirra Andreeva. Decent depth from Mirra. Drop shot Mirra Andreeva. Is that going to work? No, it's not going to work outright. Is she going to go for the lob here? She is. But the backhand volley there is going to land back in. Real cat and mouse point this. And Mirra Andreeva is so annoyed with herself. She punches herself in the leg 3 times over as she doesn't land that backhand down the line in. It's 3-1. She's still got a healthy advantage in this set. But 4-love double break. We move on to the third set. 3-1 singular break. Yeah, ouch. Take that, the quad. Ooh, double fault there for Mirra Andreeva. Love 15. Forehand Mirra Andreeva into the forehand of Boisson. Backhand cross court for Mirra Andreeva. Backhand slice. Forehand Boisson into the backhand of Mirra Andreeva. Run around forehand for Boisson. Forehand here for Mirra Andreeva. Cross court. He's going to win at the point. 15 all. Okay. DTS Vega, clearly not a fan of Andreeva. DTS Vega, welcome. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Here we go. Mirra Andreeva on the forehand. Is that going to land out? It is 15-40. 2 break points for the French woman. What an epic couple of women's semi-finals we've had thus far. Long there from Boisson. 1 break point has been saved. Mirra's emotions are in control right now, Dave? Forehand return, backhand from Mirra down the line, forehand from both players now, backhand from Boisson goes down the line, it's huge, it breaks serve, it's 3-2. It's 3-2, that backhand down the line was incredible. Oh, I see, Dave, I've got you. Anyway, we're back on serve, 3-2. Look at this backhand. So sweet down the line. Incredible. 3-2 back on serve. She knew it as well when she didn't... That ball that she wasn't able to keep in to get it to deuce when Boisson had a game point to hold serve. She was really pressuring a possible double break. She wasn't able to get the double break and she was really annoyed and she carried that anger into the next game. Roof remains closed. Okay. Boisson to serve. 2-3. Love 15. Maybe Dave, but Coco is a bit older. Forehand into the net there for Mirra Andreeva. Forehand unforced errors in this match, double off the racket of Andreeva compared to Boisson. 14 Mirra has hit compared to 7 from Boisson. Forehand to forehand right now. Goes into the net, does Andreeva on the forehand. Another forehand error from her. She wants Conchita to go. She wants Conchita to go. She's so emotional right now. She just asked Conchita to leave the box. Forehand return from Mirra Andreeva's gone long. She's in a mentally different place right now. 40-15. Hmm. 40-15, 2 game points for Boisson. She mustn't get distracted by all this. Goes down the tee with that first serve, but it is wide. It's going to be checked. It's going to be checked. But the consensus is it was out, indeed. 2 game points here, though, for Boisson. First serve is well long. Second serve is well long, sorry. So it's a double fault. 40-30. One game point has come and gone. 1 hour, 50 minutes. Forehand from Boisson into the backhand of Mirra Andreeva. Forehand, Boisson goes into the net. Deuce. This is getting messy, says Dave. Chop return there for Mirra Andreeva. Forehand from Boisson goes down the line. Now it's Boisson on the smash. Is she going to put this away? She's not. Break point, Mirra Andreeva. Boisson seems to have lost a bit of concentration in these last points. She's the one who's been distracted. And it's a break point for Mirra Andreeva. Good serve there, though, from Boisson. Saves the break point. We're back to deuce. Advantage Boisson. Game point for the Frenchwoman. Good serve there from Boisson. And it's going to help her hold. 3-all. Ooh, she had to dig deep there. She was up 40-15. There was a double fault. Ultimately goes to deuce. Ultimately has to save a break point. Wow, what mental strength there for Lois. Yannick Sinner and Alexander Bublik await. So Mirra Andreeva here serving 3-all. Goes into the net on the first serve. Ghosty's loving the Boisson success. Well, let's see. Smash here for Boisson. Smash here for Boisson. Not put away yet, but Andreeva goes long on the forehand. Love 15. Has the tide turned one final time in the direction of Boisson? Let's see. She's got resilience tattooed on her arm, interestingly enough. A cruciate ligament injury just over a year ago ruled her out of the French Open. Is she going to be in the French Open semi-final? Mirra Andreeva comes into the net, puts the volley into the net. Love 30. She whacks the ball into the crowd. She's going to get a code violation for that for sure. Warning Mirra Andreeva for the code violation. Yes, well, if she gets broken, Dave, I think you're right. Love 30 here on the Mirra Andreeva serve. Dealing with adversity. Long first serve. Second serve here, Mirra Andreeva. 30-all. Conchita is still there, yeah. Forehand return into the backhand of Mirra Andreeva. Backhand Boisson. Just keep making Mirra hit another ball. I think it's gone long. Yep, she's going to ask the mark to be checked. It has gone long. Love 40. Love 40, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just joining us, please hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe. What's going on here? She did stop play in time, I think. Love 40. Yeah. Andreeva, forehand winner, 15-40. $15.40 here. Mirra Andreeva goes long on the first serve. Here we go. Where are we going with this one? Run around forehand for Boisson. It's a double fault. It's a double fault. We've got 4-3. She's pointing at her box again. She's asked Conchita to leave at least once. Conchita has yet to leave. A French in the French Open, says Ortega. Very good, Ghosty. 4-3, she leads with a break. But listen, this is a long way from being done. We've seen so many breaks of serve in both women's semi-finals thus far. The conditions are slow and stodgy and muggy, giving a returner a really good opportunity to break on many occasions, as we've seen across both semi-finals. So 4-3, Mirra breaks and and holds, and suddenly the whole match has a hugely different complexion once more. Yes, though, the momentum is with the French woman right now, and it's all about whether Mirra can regain that composure she seems to have lost. "4-3, the French woman leads. Let me know in the live chat, by the way, who do you think is going to win from here? Just write B or A. Boisson or Andreeva. Just put a B. No, Ghosty, she was a wild card. Wild card main draw. Okay. Forehand return from Mirra. Miss hit. Goes long. 15 love. Ghosty going B. Just write B or A. Who's winning right now? How's Boisson's nerve? How's her composure with all the combustion going on down the other end of the court? Second serve here. Backhand return from Mirra into the backhand of Boisson. Forehand Mirra Andreeva. Backhand slice from Boisson. Backhand from Mirra Andreeva. Mirra's going to come into the net, but she's not going to need to pat one away because it's 15 all. Remember, just write B or A. Who is winning the match from here? Be brave. Be bold. And B or A. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? You don't get that kind of commentary on the BBC or TNT or whatever your initials are. Down the tee wide. Yes, she is as cool as a cucumber, Ortega, right now, but now is the moment of real test. 2 hours this match so far. Decent return there from... Oh, Boisson's gone long with the backhand. 15-30. 15-30. Dave, come on. I'm waiting for you to write B or A. He's always on the fences, Dave. Be courageous. Doesn't matter if you're wrong. There is no wrong answer. And hit that like button. First serve into the net, 15-30. Dave, still taking Andreeva for the win. How about that? Fair enough. That's a big call right now. Of course, she wins this next. Oh, she's mishit the forehand, 30 all. 30 all. Listen, it's sometimes sticking the needle. And also, by the way, it's more courageous to back Andreeva right now. 30 all. 4-3. Down the tee, but wide. What Boisson would love is to be able to hold and then get it on the Andreeva serve, because to serve it out is going to be so difficult for her. Good return from Andreeva, 30-40. Such depth there. Caught Boisson out. She wasn't able to react, and we've got a break point for Mirra Andreeva. Fair enough, Dave. It was just the pause. I was waiting for an A or a B from you, Dave, and we got one. Okay, break point here for Mirra Andreeva to get it back on serve in this second set, and she's going to have a second serve to look at. Backhand return from Mirra. Run around forehand for Boisson. Backhand down the line for Mirra. Boisson on the defense. Forehand now from Mirra Andreeva, but it's going to be a forehand down the line from Boisson. Cross court now, Boisson. Down the line from Mirra. Backhand cross court is really good from Boisson. She saves the break point, and we're at deuce. Oof. Dearie me. These two semi-finals today, boy, oh boy. Probably the ending to that first semi-final with Coco running away with the third set sort of took some of the sting out of it. But it was probably only the last two games. Even at 4-1, you still really don't know if Keys is going to come back. Djokovic and Sinner win. Well, Djokovic is a call. I think the Sinner one, fair enough, but Djokovic is still a call, I think. Forehand down the line from Mirra Andreeva. Boisson on the defense. Mirra puts the volley, the smash away. But I tell you what, I think it hit the top part of her racket. She's telling the crowd to be quiet. Break point, Mirra Andreeva. Victory belongs to the tenacious, as Ortega reminds us. Final coffee done of the day. Good serve from Boisson. Deuce. Okay, where are you going with this serve? Lois. Backhand return from Mirra Andreeva is long. We're going to have a game point here for Boisson for 5-3. Oh, Mirra Andreeva, what is that drop shot? I tell you what it is. It's poor. 5-3. Boisson leads. She's one game away from the French Open semi-finals. The world number 361, much to the delight of the crowd and much to the chagrin of Mirra Andreeva. More than 2 hours, and we have not even finished this second set yet. She's a game away. Wow, says Ghosty. Wow, indeed. But that drop shot from Mirra, dearie me. Did it even reach the net? It is happening, Snehel. It is happening. Great story, this, says Ghosty. It was a weird drop shot, that's for sure, Dave. First serve is into the net for Mirra Andreeva. Mirra on the defense. Love 15. The crowd are on their feet, knowing their charge is 3 points away from the win. Wow. Andreeva here serving at 3-5, love 15. One of the pre-tournament favourites. I don't think she'd even dropped a set either until now. Yes, Ghosted. That's a good one. It's a long way to go, Snell. She's not even in the semi-finals yet. And if she is, she's going to have to beat Coco or Arena or Iga in the final. So anyway, forehand here from Mirra into the forehand of Boisson. Forehand, Mirra goes down the line. It's a good idea. On the defense, though, is Boisson. And she's put the backhand long. Mirra has. It's love 30. It's almost like a cauldron, and she just wants to get out. She just wants to get out. No worries, Brenner. Okay, Andreeva to serve. Out wide, misses. Second serve. Second serve here to look at for Boisson. Run around forehand return. Backhand from Mirra. Forehand from Boisson into the forehand of Mirra Andreeva. It goes into the net. Mirra Andreeva nets, and it's love 40. We have 3 match points. 3 match points. For Boisson. Okay. Love 40. Forehand return. Forehand from Mirra into the forehand of Boisson. Down the line. Backhand return. Forehand Boisson. Is that going to be enough? I think it might be. I think it might be. Is it going to land out? It is. She falls to the ground. Mirra Andreeva is out, but Boisson is through. She's in tears. She's on the ground. It's like she's won the calendar slam. The crowd would go wild. The world number 361 is into the French Open semi-final. She's covered in clay. She gets the embrace of Mirra Andreeva, but Mirra Andreeva is going to have to dust herself down and get ready for the grass season. But for now, it's Boisson's day. Hands and arms aloft. She is into the French Open semi-final where she will play Coco Gauff. Oh my goodness me. We've just lost a subscriber. Maybe it's Mirra Andreeva herself who's quickly unsubscribing. Such is her annoyance. But listen, Boisson is through. She's won this epic encounter. It's only straight sets, but more than 2 hours she required. 7-6, 6-3. She is through. $82 minutes that first set. 46 minutes for the second set. What a result. I just got a WhatsApp from Eddie. I hope he doesn't mind me sharing it. What a result, he says. Wow. Boisson is through. Andreeva has to go and dust herself down, as I said. Going to see if I can get someone on, but let's see. Wow. What do we think, live chat? Wow. Boisson in the semis. Who knows the future, what it holds for her, says Ghosty. And she's done it in straight sets, indeed. This is a great story, says Ortega, indeed, or NC Ortega. Okay, let's talk through the match and where it was won and lost. Mirra Andreeva is up a break in the first set, serves for the first set. But like so many players today, both in the first semi-final and the second semi-final, finding these slow conditions very stodgy and very difficult to break through their opponents. Plus, Boisson's forehand was fire. She breaks back when Mirra is serving for it. We then go into the tiebreak. Mirra Andreeva is down 2-4 and then 3-5. There was some untimely double faults from Mirra in there as well. And Boisson eventually gets over the line, winning that first set tiebreak, 8-6. Mirra, by the way, had a set point as well in that tiebreak. Boisson had a couple of set points on the Andreeva side. I think it might have even been 3 at 5-6, and that was an epic game. Once Andreeva saved that, you thought she was going to win the tiebreak. Boisson had other ideas, and not for the first time in this tournament, and not even for the first time today. We then go into the second set. Andreeva is up a break. She's threatening a double break. She doesn't get it. She's starting to lose her cool. They're back on serve. She wants Conchita Martinez out of her box. That's how stressed Mirra Andreeva was getting. We saw her punching her thigh at one point as well. She also gets a code violation, whacking a ball. And as she's losing games, she's losing her mind. But Boisson stayed cool despite all the vociferous support that she was getting, and she got over the line to win that second set, 6-3. Let's have a look at the stats on the French Open website to just see one final way of looking at how this match was won and lost. I mean, ultimately, the only stat that matters is that it's a straight sets win for Boisson. She thanks the crowd in her speech. Pretty emotional day for the world number 361, who's in the French Open semi-final where she'll play Coco Gauff tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be second on after Iga against Arena. But yeah, let's have a look at the stats anyway from Andreeva and Boisson. 7-6, 6-3, Boisson won. Look at that. The French Open hasn't even got like a proper sort of outfit. She's just wearing a hoodie there. It's like they just caught her just coming from a shopping experience somewhere in the middle of Paris. Anyway, 7-6, 6-3, as I said, 2 hours and 8 minutes. That first set was epic. Well over 80 minutes that took. Even the second set, just 9 games, was around 3/4 of an hour. 3 aces off the racket of Boisson, 1 from the racket of Mirra. As I say, both players struggling to hit through each other. Mirra Andreeva, so many untimely double faults, and 9 of them in total, which across 2 sets is way too many. That cost her dearly. Second serve point ones for the second consecutive match. We're seeing both or all 4 semi-finalists not get over the 50% threshold for winning points on the second serve. It's been raining today. I think it's had an influence on both matches and maybe even the outcome of both matches, but all 4 players struggle to hit through each other. The Boisson forehand, though, still occasionally could get through Andreeva, and it certainly got through in terms of mentally as Mirra just melted and broke down. 32% Mirra Andreeva winning on her second serve points. Let's have a look at some deeper stats as well as we go down the list. Look at those first serve average speeds and second serve. Not that fast with these slow and stodgy conditions. Break points converted. 5 from 11 for Boisson, 3 from 9. Nothing particularly outstanding or remarkable there. Total points 197 from Boisson, 82 from Mirra Andreeva. Interestingly, despite probably thinking of Boisson as being the slightly bigger and more aggressive player today, it was actually 29 winners from Mirra Andreeva and 24 from Boisson. But look at that, unforced errors. 43 unforced errors from Mirra Andreeva. And maybe the biggest of all was that drop shot right near the end at such a crucial moment as we entered the latter stages of that second set. So it's Mirra Andreeva who goes through to the next round. I will be with you again very shortly for Jannik Sinner against Bublik. But in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your days. And yeah. Boisson rhymes with croissant, especially if you mispronounce it like I'm probably doing. Are you looking forward to Sinner against Bublik? I imagine you are. That's coming up very shortly. Let me see if Damien can just join me. I don't think he can. Let's see if Damien can join. If you can, just join me. We'll preview a semi. Let's see. Well, I'll just set this Sinner Bublik situation up. Sinner Bublik, there we go. That is coming. And so is Coco Gauff against Mirra Andreeva. On Friday. No, tomorrow, sorry. Getting that all wrong. For now, enjoy the Boisson success. Just going to see a response here from Damien to see if he can finally join. I'm not sure if he can. If he can, we'll stay live for a few more minutes. There we go. There's the image. There's the image of the day, perhaps, ladies and gentlemen. Boisson cupping her ears there, cold, but wow, what emotion around the stadium. She handled it, though. She handled it much better than Mirra Andreeva could. That's for sure. You just see. Okay, I'll stay live, Damien. Yeah, Damien's going to join me. We'll look back on both the win that Boisson had and, of course, the Coco Gauff earlier, and then preview the semi-final. Harriet Dart, you've got to be kidding. She's a fierce competitor, says Jay. Indeed. I need to have a sip of water. Washu's not happy with the crowd. Well, there was a moment in that second set when there was maybe a shout between first and second serves, and then Andreeva double faults. I'm seeing a replay of her whacking the ball into the crowd. She chats to the umpire about the calls between serve. She was up a break in that second set. The roof is opening, so that factor is not going to influence the Sinner Bublik encounter. And here's Damien. Let's see what he's got to say. We're going to preview Coco Gauff against Lois Boisson. Do I need to Google their head-to-head? I imagine they've never played, but pretty sure about that. We'll have a look on the WTA website, which, of course, the cumbersomeness. Of course, I Google it, and it takes me to Qin Wenjing against Igor Swiatek. Of course, it does.
What are you Googling? Lois Boisson against Coco Gauff? I mean, they've obviously never played.
Yes, they do. But I think she's faceless. Yes, she is. Let's swap Iga for Coco.
I mean, where would they play?
Pretty sure they won't play. Indeed. Oh, I need to turn my volume up, Damien. Sorry. Oh, hang on a second.
I was just saying that it's kind of like pointless to look at Boisson go head to head because obviously.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, I had. Let me just do something very quickly. Hold on. Got all sorts of things going on. Right, I'm with you. Sorry about that distraction. I wondered where you were, but I thought maybe you were having the same technical difficulties I was having. Anyway, let's get into it. Listen, let's just very quickly reflect on that Boisson match. Was it one in the mind in the end?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, obviously, Andreeva didn't really handle the situation well, the crowd and everything. Lois came in and just kind of tried to do her best, hit that forehand aggressively, of course, but also just stay in the point. Hope the 18-year-old does what she did, we've talked about the Andreeva Gauff matchup as one where Mirra looks 18. Today, she looked very 18 as well. I don't know. I mean, looking at this, I'm just wondering, whether in the semis she would have been a bit better simply because, well, the home crowd, it wouldn't be a factor there, but also a matchup that's been very frustrating to her. But yeah, I mean, clearly she was not ready to take this title. We just maybe expected it to happen around later rather than today. But, the amazing story continues. Like at this point, Boisson is probably one of the most unexpected slam semifinalists in ever. I don't really know who we've had in recent years.
So this is more unexpected than Coco, than Iga, than Emma Raducanu.
I mean, considering Emma won the title, I guess you can combine them. But all in all, I mean, Emma obviously was, well, actually, okay, Boisson was injured. I guess, yeah. Let's say it's pretty similar. For some reason, I completely forgot about Raducanu. I was thinking like Alexandra Stevenson, 1999. That doesn't make any sense. But yeah, probably there were some that I'm just like not thinking about right now. But nonetheless, it's really one of the biggest underdog stories we've seen in tennis in my life. So amazing for her, obviously. We've spoken about this before. So, actually, no. I'll just give the mic to you because I guess that's more of a preview thing.
Yeah, but we are going to get into that. I want to move on. Coco winning in 3 sets today. By the way, I think something that really wasn't. I'm guessing it must have still been raining at the beginning of the Boisson Andreeva match because obviously the roof stayed closed throughout. They're now opening up for Bublik against Sinner. Do you think, like I do, that we have seen slightly different matches? Even if the first match probably would have had the same outcome with roof open or roof closed, but just feels really stodgy. And I just keep thinking of that Zverev match against Rafa in 2022 and how neither player could hit through each other.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think it was super humid under the roof. Obviously, the weather was rainy, so I guess it would have been humid with the roof open as well. But it did get like very sloggy, and the Gauff Keys match, I think it definitely had an impact on it. I don't think it necessarily like troubled either player. Keys indoor conditions, she's fine in that. Gauff, even though she was complaining a little bit, I suppose, about like even the quality of the match, she was saying a couple of times that so many unforced errors or something like that. But I think that this also suited her in the long run, just physically and athletically. You know, she loves these kind of slogs, right? She very often gets other players into these encounters in any conditions. So yeah, I don't think either really minded that. Here it's tough to say, because obviously for the most part this was just Mirra, especially in the second set, from 3-2 just losing her mind completely. So yeah, I would say that probably the roof wasn't that important, but it did impact the conditions 100%. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to get an improbable semi-finalist against a very probable semi-finalist. You can guess which way around I'm thinking. What kind of a match do we expect to unfold? And, you know, is Coco going to suffer like Mirra did today?
I don't think so. I mean, she's so much more experienced. She likes these kind of like gritty encounters, as I just said. I mean, we've spoken about this many times, but that's the kind of the issue with upsets, right? The story is amazing when it happens, but then you're wondering, okay, how is this going to impact the next match? Can she produce something like that again? This right now, even without a day off. I think it was different with Boisson Pegula, because I was not expecting Andreeva Pegula to be a match either. So I didn't have that feeling back then. Now I am kind of scared, you know, how this run ends for Lois. It's not quite like Sinner Gasquet, for example, at this event, when we were thinking, okay, if it's a triple bagel, it like Ricci's career ends in such an unpleasant manner. Even if Lois would get double bagel tomorrow, like there's absolutely no difference, right? It's just a loss. I mean, she's done so much tremendous work that nobody cares how she's going to lose. But obviously, can she continue is the other question. Clearly, she's displayed so much mental strength today. The crowd will be there once more to support her, but I don't know if it just has that much of an impact on Coco as it did today. Since Mirra, I mean, yeah, she's just so much less experienced than the American, and she's shown issues like this in matches before, mostly in the Goff matchup, but also in some other instances. So I think Goff is probably better equipped to handle that. And should she be like afraid of Boisson's game? For the most part, probably not.
Indeed. I think we keep writing off. The problem I find with the underdog stories is that they don't often go out in an epic way. They keep winning these unbelievable matches, you know, surprising everyone, winning. That's you know, she's had 3 epics, even though today was a straight sets win. It still felt epic, especially in terms of time. So, but then they don't lose like in a third set tie break. It's often like 2-1. And yeah, again, if it's like Eno, I think one thing I will say is I think she has still got something. I just think that Iga and Arena, if she was to get to the final, say, I just couldn't see that being that competitive. But I can see Coco because she can sort of contrive situations. She even did it today at times when she had commanding leads. But ultimately, I think surely the story of Boisson does end in the semifinals.
I mean, we've been saying that for like 3 matches straight. That's the one argument against it, I suppose. She was struggling heavily against Jacquemot, lost the bagel second set. Seemed like physically she might be at the end of her road, and then obviously defeats Pegula in a good battle for today. She also saves up a lot of energy. I don't know, Dave, how to answer the question, because I'm not sure what you mean. So like if Boisson had to play a third set today, would it be the same result? I don't think we can confirm that or deny that, because we don't know how Mirra would have responded. Like that was still like the primary focus of today, right? How Andreeva was playing in terms of her mental strength, fortitude, or whatever. So yeah, I don't think we can really know that. And yeah, I mean, in terms of the semifinals, it once more looks like Boisson almost can't win the match. Maybe this is just going to be another instance of this insane story that just keeps growing on us over these last 2 weeks, and honestly even for about a year when she had that injury last year. And yeah, the only thing you could really think of was like how unlucky when she's in this form and she finally gets a Roland Garros major wildcard. So I'm not expecting fireworks from the second semifinal tomorrow, but you know, hope to be wrong again.
The 2 stories are just wild. Emma Raducanu winning was a qualifier without dropping a set in New York. This is obviously wild. You know, Cruciate got an injury a year ago, rules her out the French Open. She's world number 361. She's in the semifinals. But they're just totally different, that I think actually becomes quite difficult to compare. But if you really wanted me to to go into something. The one thing that would go against the Emma story is there was something a little bit building. The fact that she qualified without dropping a set was like, yeah, fine. And I think she'll win a couple of matches.
Was that the year when she went pretty deep at Wimbledon too?
She'd already had the Wimbledon run,
yeah,
where she was sick. I think that was the same year even when she,
yes.
And there was already, wow, this is a really, really talented player who one day might be coming into the equation for winning Grand Slams. So there was already something about her and the talent was already obvious to all. So I think if you really push me, I would go, if Boisson needs to win the tournament and then it becomes a comparison, that's for sure. But probably Boisson would win it, but who cares? Anyway, thanks, Damien.
I'd agree. Dave, by the way, this was torn ACL for Lois. Yeah, I just want to say that indeed Emma had that Wimbledon run, and that's kind of the big difference maker because, okay, Boisson won, what was it, the W75 just before this event or something like that, but she just had absolutely zero experience playing on the main tour, like no events whatsoever. So we just didn't really have any option to compare her to any players who would be in the main draw at Roland Garros, or like at least 80% of the players would be in the main draw. So I do think she's a more unexpected semi-finalist than Raducanu. Now let's see if she actually takes it even further, of course. Also, you know, if she won the title, like Raducanu had Sakari and had Fernandez in the semis and the final, right?
Mirra,
Goff and then Sabalenka or Świątek.
Yeah.
I mean, that's way tougher, especially with the way they're all playing right now. So
on this surface, the three. Well, I mean, obviously it's going to be one of Arena, or you can't play them all. It would just be insane. All right, listen, I'm going to go over to Bublik against Sinner, and I think you're coming back later on. Vanch will be joining you at some point, but probably around about set 3 for Zverev against Djokovic. Thanks, everybody. You know the drill, and I'll see you shortly for Bublik against Jannik Sinner. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.